In Uganda, a system has come up where if you become a Ugandan general, let's say 90% of the generals who have been in Uganda during Museveni's time, 90% of them have died. And 90% of the generals who have died during Museveni's time have been assassinated. They have been assassinated. This article today is meant to show how they die, and it is not a coincidence. Uh, First of all, they discover something. You know, General retired Museveni, his brother General retired Salim Saleh, and Museveni's son General Muhuzi, or is it Muhuni? General Muhuni uh, are the only generals who stay for long. Even though, if you look at the way they travel, the way they travel, you could think that money is being moved from central bank to a bank. We call it in Kenya CIPU, cash in transit, eh, something like that. So you find that the three generals, Museveni, Salim, and the boy, Swale, no, Swale is the brother. The boy is Muhuni. They travel guarded with several tracks of commandos. Maybe they know that somebody may want to assassinate them, but they have really assassinated a lot of people. And as I've said, they assassinate people because one, you know, when you go up, it is like for Kenyans, you may remember during Moi's time. Moi finishes off Kibaki politically, then he places there Saitoti. When Saitoti is comfortable now, ambition, knowing that the only seat that is remaining the presidency, he removes Saitoti and so on and so forth. So that is how Museveni does. He gets you from level 3, makes you level 2. When you are in level 2, you stay there for some time. You start thinking of level 1. He gets rid of you and again uplifts another general to your level. This thing, I call it revolving doors of Museveni's general. And it was, I was motivated by the attempted assassination of General Peter Elweru. There was an attempt on General Peter Elweru. General Peter Elweru was to be assassinated because of various reasons that I'll say. Lucky for him, he was both lucky and unlucky. Lucky for him, he survived, and the border people picked him and rushed him to hospital. You can see from social media, he's bloodied, and UPDF, as a UPDF soldier comes, they get into a border and he's rushed to the hospital. He was wailing in Kiganda saying, "I'm bleeding a lot, rush me to the hospital before I die." Then he was rushed to the hospital. At the hospital, he recovered and never died. But his dear daughter died in the hail of bullets. His bodyguard also died. The driver saw the border people coming. He tried to increase the speed, but then they came. Over 60 bullets were used on that exchange. One thing that it will never be explained. I don't know why General, Kenya, I know generals. I know generals, many of them. And unless somebody tells you that this is a former general, the only general I know who has retired and who had security was Musonye, Ruben Musonye. But Musonye had only one AP because all commissioners in the Electoral Commission of Kenya had to have an AP as a bodyguard. So Brigadier Musonye was having one AP simply because he was an election commissioner in Kenya. But Uganda, you find them working. So we don't know what happened on that day that General Peter Elweru had only one bodyguard. It has never been answered. He went to the hospital, he recovered. Now, 3 or 4 months before General Elweru had been shot, Major General Lokech, I'm forgetting his Christian name, had been transferred from the UPDF to the UPF. He had been transferred from Uganda People's Defense Forces to Uganda Police Force, where he was appointed a Deputy Inspector General. He was appointed Deputy Inspector General, and the reason why he was taken out of the UPDF to Uganda Police Force is simple. You know, Major General Lokech joined as a young man. He joined the NRA, and he has age-wise, he was 10 years older than Museveni's son. So he had been going up steadily and whatever, and in all purposes and whatever, Luero and Lokech were the people who were to head the military. They were the people who were to head the military. I think Luero headed the military, and then he was removed and made a minister, a cabinet minister. So the next good person was Lokech. Lokech was to be the head of the military, and he was very good. He had gone to Mogadishu to bring peace in Mogadishu twice. He fought the Al-Shabaab, and actually his nickname was the Lion of Mogadishu. The reason why he was called the Lion of Mogadishu was that there's a time when the presidential palace in Mogadishu was surrounded by Al-Shabaab, and they wanted to uh, get the Somali president. Well, whatever they would have done to him after getting him, only God knows. Lokech had it from wherever he asked. He picked a syndicate. He picked a company of brave soldiers. He went to the state house, or they call it a presidential palace, and in a commando style, took out the Somali president to a safe place. Mkitaka kupiga state house, pigeni nyumba, lakini hamtapata the president. So he became known as the Lion of Mogadishu. Another thing that Major General Lokech had, you know, a very good thing to military people is the trust and love and readiness to die for your general. Lokech was he an Acholia? Lokech was loved by all members, all soldiers and officers of the UPDF. So obviously he was to go up. Museveni did not like that. So Museveni transferred him to the police to be the Deputy Inspector General. He was deputizing another general, military general, who's called Wamala. Wamala was a Muganda, and that they were trying to be. He was trying to get rid of them in that way. So it happened that this general Katumba Katumba was investigating cases about Uganda Airlines. When he was investigating about Uganda Airlines, he discovered that there was a lot of corruption there. There was a lot of corruption there, and his investigation was going on very well, and he was about to get those people. Then suddenly, some youths came on top of, people, masked men, came on top of a border. They shot at his vehicle. He survived. When he survived, Lokech started investigating it. Lokech, Lokech is was now the Deputy Inspector General. He was given the duty of investigating that. And he started investigating that about those people who are planning to assassinate Katumba Wamala. So whom did he get? I'm a Kenyan, so if I mix names, try to understand. So he was investigating, and when he was investigating, he discovered that the people who were planning to kill him were from the CMA. They were from the CMA, the chieftains of the military intelligence. They are the ones who organized it. And the person who was heading that organization to kill him was Major General Abel Kanindo. Abel Kanindo was the head of the military intelligence. So when Lokech was investigating, and he found that a fellow Major General, Kanindo was the one who had organized for that attempted murder, attempted assassination. Coincidentally, that time is when Lokech dislocated his leg in the ankle. He dislocated his leg at the ankle, and his leg was put into the plaster. It was put in a cast. It was put in a cast for 3 weeks. When the cast was about to be removed, he died. Post-mortem came, and the post-mortem came and found that he died because of blood clotting in his lung. Now he fell, and he was in jovial mood when he was about to get cured. He was in a very jovial mood. He was talking to everybody. He was looking forward to go back to the police headquarters to continue this work. Then suddenly he died. When the information reached President Museveni, President Museveni said those are the ADF pigs. Those are the ADF pigs. And when you hear ADF is a guerrilla organization working inside DRC, Zaire. And when you hear Museveni saying that these are the ADF pigs who killed him, please understand that the killers will never be known, and understand that the killers are closer to the 3 family members who are generals. So Lokech died that way. His daughter Anyango, you remember that his daughter Anyango kept on insisting when she gave testimony on his burial. She said that my father was never sick at all. Her father was a very physically fit person. It's only that kuteguka, Kiswahili wanasema kuteguka, and then he broke his ankle and it was put in a cast, and he did not die there and then. He was placed in a cast, and 3 weeks later, when he was about for it to be removed, he just died that way. So you can see how these people do it. Apart from Lokech, there are several other people. I don't know how many I can remember who died in a similar way. And when you see that, I can say that in all those cases, you'll find that Museveni just brushes it off and says that it is pigs, and then he says that they are and if you hear it is ADF pigs, they'll never be found. I think I'm repeating myself there. Another, I think Kenyans who were there in the 70s will remember somebody who's called Dr. Jason Kaviti. Johnson Kaviti used to come with those good recommendations, similar to what Museveni says. Because Kaviti once said that Robert Ouko shot himself in the head. After shooting himself, he took out a 5-liter jerrycan of paraffin, poured on his body, and lit himself. And that is how he died. That is where Kenya was in the 70s and 80s, is where Museveni's Uganda is. Another person who died in a similar way was General James Kazini. James Kazini, he once headed the General Court Martial. He actually, if I'm not wrong, General James Kazini is the one who handed over the General Court Martial to the current one, Brigadier General Gabriel Freeman Mugabe. James Kazini died in a situation where everybody just knew that he was assassinated. Hiyo story too, boda people come. There was also General Aronda Nyakarima. Nyakarima was also that way. We have a sheikh, in the military. We have bishops, pastors, padres, and sheikhs. We had a former member of the ADF in Zaire, DRC, who was called General Chigunda. General Chigunda had joined the UPDF after defecting from ADF. He was assassinated because after joining ADF, he must have known, or he must have had contact with ADF. And you see, ADF is a guerrilla movement that Museveni uses to get to get minerals from DRC, just like Rwanda with General Kagame. They use M23. M23, they called it M23. Then there is General Kutesa. General Kutesa died in just the same way. There is a Brigadier General Noble Mayombe. He died just the same way. There is Ibrahim Abriga. There is Assistant Superintendent of Police Muhammad Kirunya. Now, this Assistant Superintendent of Police discovered some corruption that was going on in the police service. You see, the Museveni family is corrupt in all angles. Who could left, right, center, name it. Now, even within the police, there was a lot of corruption. And Assistant Superintendent of Police Muhammad Kirunya was investigating this thing. What happened? To silence him, the Museveni government took him to the police court. It is only in Uganda that I've heard of something that is called police court. Because in all countries, we have the civilian courts and the court martial. But then in Uganda, they have what they call police courts, which are similar to martial courts, but they deal only with the police. He was charged with corruption. He was charged with whatever. And when he was put on his defense, he said that he's being persecuted because he has discovered a lot of corruption that is going on among senior police officers. When he said so, he won the case. When he won the case, he was reinstated back into the Uganda police force, And shortly after, he was assassinated in the very same way we have been saying. Another one was Assistant Inspector General Andrew Felix Kawesi. Andrew Felix Kawesi was a police spokesman and also an anti-corruption person. You know how many bullets he was given? 27 rounds of bullets. I remember I started with General Peter Elweru, and that is where I'll finish off with. So you find that that is how Museveni is doing. Another reason why he's so doing is that look at the generals. You join, they joined with the NRA as recruits. They have gone up and they have faced. You find that many of them have faced fire in various fields. For example, they have faced fire in DRC on the ADF front. They have faced fire in northern Uganda fighting Lord's Resistance Army, and even in Mogadishu. But Museveni's son, General Muhuni, the only action he has been facing are places like Sandhurst and other military colleges worldwide. And that is how it is. I felt that I should share that with you to know how Museveni is killing his general.